They bout to look at the shit that I'm on. Why don't we get in topic? Crew looking like Pentatonics, locked in, recording in tropics. In the East Bay 3, big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Talk biz while smoking exotics. We lit, never thought about it. Just live out the look at the shit that I'm on. Why don't we get in topics? Sitting way back, all black, I'm talking. Feeling like Shaq, I weigh my options. In the East Bay 3, big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Talk biz while smoking exotics. It's RCR the Presents.
What is up? What is up? What is up? RCR Presents MSD Sports. It's been a while. Episode 23. My name's Sam, also known as YBK. And we got Mikey over here. And we got Camden over here. And let's go, Mikey, introduce yourself. Mikey, introduce yourself.
What's goody, my peoples? It's your boy, Michael John. You can find me at Instagram at Michael John DeStefano. Coming to you out the 02135. We live from Boston with my boys from the West Coast. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Camden. What's up?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? You know what it is. It's your boy, Mr. Club Paradise, a.k.a. Camden Lee. And you know where I'm at with the greatest trio ever assembled, MSD Sports. You already know what it is. I see my boy YBK. He changed his camera. Boy looking fly. I don't know if, you know what I mean, some of our listeners been hitting him up on the off time, wondering, you know what I'm saying, if they get a number or two. Because my boy looking smooth daddy today. It's episode 23. Can you let the people know, YBK, what are we doing tonight, baby? What are we doing?
Well, before that, thank you very much, David. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yes. I found out on, quick, thing to the reviewers. I have this webcam called as Osmo Pocket 3. I found it on TikTok. You can plug it in USB to your computer and use it as a webcam, and it looks nice. So yes, it's like an upgrade that I had, but I never knew about. So that's great. But let's get into episode 23. We got the Michael Jordan, LeBron James episode. We're going to talk about all three sports today. We got the MLB today. Tokyo series coming up. MLB Yankee injury. Gerrit Cole out for season. What the hell? Red Sox emergence. This Red Sox lineup looking good. And then we're going to move on to the NBA. Crazy NBA recap news, NBA playoff chases and seeds. Teams are changing them seeds left and right now. We're going to talk about that. NFL free agency, guys. This has been a fire free agency. Crazy offseason already. So there's a lot to talk about. And let's go. Start it off. MLB update. I know we said this in the last pod, but the Tokyo series is coming up. Today's, as we speak, is March 12th. Tokyo series. The exhibition matches are earlier, but the actual regular season games start March 18th, 19th of 2025, guys. 7 p.m. Japanese time. So this is interesting. So they're ahead of us. So they're 16 hours ahead of us. So we kind of have to think about backwards from the Japanese time. So I said 7 p.m. Japanese time. So that's, I think, 3 a.m. before. So it was like March 17, 3 a.m., something like that. So we have to kind of, if you want to tune in, you got to kind of keep up, get updated because, you could get confused, but it's going to be late.
A lot of math in this joint. A lot of math.
I was confused too. So I was like, wait, what? So yeah, you gotta keep updated. But the first game of the starters have been officially announced, guys. Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Los Angeles Dodgers is against Shota Imanga of the Chicago Cubs. And this is a Japanese starting pitch matchup in Japan, guys. Isn't that crazy? I think that's crazy.
Unbelievable. I mean, guys, can you believe where the game is going? We got two homegrown stars pitching to start off the MLB season. Listen, this is what we came to see. And I know, for some of the people who have to wake up early, like your boy over here, I got to get up at 3 a.m. if I want to watch the game. It's okay. 3 a.m. You should run into the dreams. Hey, but I still feel like this is something that is going to be must-see baseball and something that not only are we going to definitely be tuning into, but something definitely the audience is to tune into too. Mikey, how do we feel? 6 a.m., on your way to work or getting up, watching some baseball? What's going on?
We'll see. I might be up. I might not be up. Who knows? I'm gonna be working actually. I think I will be up if I think my work schedule correctly. I like it. I think it's interesting that baseball regular season starting so early, and I feel like we kind of had we discussed the pros and cons. I feel like of doing games maybe not at home for the home opener, but it's definitely interesting. And shout out to the Japanese peoples. Let's get it. Like, I mean, listen, you get to see some of y'all very own, y'all very talented players kick off this season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The last time it was played in Tokyo was in 2019 in Tokyo, Japan, with the A's and the Mariners. And I think at that time, that wasn't the Ichiro time, but still, I think, the Mariners are such a famous team in Japan, too, due to Ichiro. So I think it's going to be a cool, it's been like 6 years since, they've been in Tokyo. So I think it's going to be pretty cool, guys. But, guys, I got to talk about my Yankees for a little bit, guys. I kind
They
of,
hurting.
a teardrop dropped a little bit and it dried a little fast,
hurting.
but it hurt me a little bit. Our ace, Mr. Gerrit Cole, after all that opt-out BS, I was about to say it, after all that drama we had in the offseason, this man gets Tommy John, I think, yesterday, and is officially out for the 2025 season. Oh my goodness, guys. He's our horse. He's our ace, and he's out. And there's 3 more players I want to talk about the injury to. Luis Gil, a lat strain. He's sidelined till June. So that's a good 2 months of baseball that we're missing Luis Gil. Giancarlo Stanton, playoff hero, playoff Superman, elbow injuries, and he's out indefinitely. So he's saying both his elbows are in so much pain he can't lift the bat. And we're going to round it off with DJ LeMahieu with the calf strain, and he's expected to return mid-season. So we got we got 4 key players that are almost out for half and the whole season. And damn, guys, like, when you hear, like, if this is like your team, like, get your aces out, maybe your second starters out, your DHs out, what do you guys feel about this?
Well, my question is this.
Yeah.
What do you feel about like Gerrit Cole? Because that was like your ace, big bucks, big money. Last year, you remember what happened in spring training too? Remember he had the elbow injury.
Yep.
He was saying my elbow, something's up with it.
Yep.
But then he did some regular rest and came back and he pitched pretty well.
Yeah.
But he really didn't pitch that many innings last year.
No.
I feel like
No.
it wasn't like a full season. It was like
I think he only
still,
started 17 games, only played 17 games.
yeah, and like he pitched good, and he pitched better in the postseason, this past postseason, than like previous
Definitely.
postseason, if I remember right. But if you're like, I mean, listen, like 3.5 ERA, like ish, like, you know what I mean? Not if you're pitching 200 innings, maybe because like you could be like a workhorse for your rotation. But like I don't know, he's getting up there in age, dude. Like I'd be a little worried about Cole right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the thing is like, Mikey just kind of speaking about it, like, with that injury last year. You know how I feel about this. If you got injuries, you know what I mean, coming into the season, you're going to be hurt for most of the season. When you come in limping, you're going to be limping. And especially with the postseason run like he had, I'm just a little bit upset. Why are we now finding out he needs this Tommy John surgery? I feel like this is something that was probably told to him probably a couple months ago, like, hey, you might need this, you might not. He's still trying to go after a bag, so he wants to make sure he secures his money before he starts doing that. If I was a Yankees fan, I'm like, when it rains, it pours. Because not only do I got that, then I got Stanton. He can't pick up his elbows. I don't know what's going on with the strength and conditioning coach over there in New York, but he needs to be sticking to the bands and less with the weights, because these boys is hurting like nobody's business. Yeah, I'm sad. I guess if I was a Yankees fan, I'd be sad because, it's tough, especially for my boy YBK. I mean, as a Sox fan, this is a bright day. I'm chilling. I'm big chilling. Listen, it might be us in the Cubs in the World Series. I'll see you at the game. I guess I might be getting tickets. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's a great point, David, on why not after the World Series? Like, you kind of readdress and, like, say it. But there's a conspiracy theory. The big conspiracy theory here right now. So, you know all that opt-out drama Gerrit Cole had? Mm-hmm. So we're thinking, some Yankee fans are thinking, this guy does not want to go to free agency in his mind because he has to take that physical.
Correct.
He didn't want to get that physical because the teams will automatically know, oh, he's getting Tommy John. So he kind of played himself into that opt-out drama, but he won at the end of the day. He did get paid to just sit out this season, that 35 mil. So that's what they're saying. Like, he tried to avoid free agency, get that opt-out with that Yankees, and try to come back and not get that physical. And now he's getting Tommy John.
He did have elbow inflammation last year, though, kind of like I mentioned. He had bad elbow inflammation in the preseason last year. So it's like, can you really blame him for wanting to get the money? Like, I mean, y'all knew about it last year. The elbow was inflamed, and it was, though, like you were saying, David, like, how would you not know earlier? In fairness to him, the reports was that it was the second doctor's opinion. Like, when they did this, let's get the additional doctor to take a look at it, then they decided, Tommy John, you need Tommy John. So, I mean, you got to let the doctor do the doctor's job. Like, I don't want to say, like, act like Cole, because I feel like Cole wants to be a good pitcher and wants to win the World Series, you know?
Right.
He wants to be the ace. So, like, I don't want to blame him, but, like, tough break.
Yeah.
Y'all also lost, besides Cole and Stanton, Luis Gill is
Yes,
hurting
exactly.
too, right?
That's one guy I want to bring up, because when Cole was out last season, Luis Gil was the iron horse in our rotation. He was coming like, he was like 8-1 with like a 2.1 ERA. He was going crazy, guys. He was leading that rotation to the Yankees' success, and now he's out till June. And that's a great point, because who's going to step up now is the question in the rotation. But thank God we signed Max Fried in that $218 million contract for like 7 years, I think, or 8 years, because he's a horse. He's an ace. So thank God we have him. But for me, it's like, man, I'm coming to this offseason thinking Cole, Fried, Gil, Rodon. You know what I'm saying? Rodon's my fourth starter when everyone's healthy at this point, right? That's my hopes now. And then now we're getting this news. My ace is gone, and my rookie of the year is gone, and my postseason hero is gone. So as a Yankee fan, if I want to be optimistic, this is where the 4th, 5th starters come, like, to prove themselves, like, I'm here, like, I got y'all. Especially for, like, Stroman, because he was a big trading kind of piece during the offseason, but no team wanted him. And he had that drama unfollowing the Yankees, and he had that whole thing going on, but he still stayed on. Or like a rookie like Will Warren, like, I mean, he was a top prospect, but now, like, is he gonna be like a Gil or like a Severino from before, or like a Domingo Armand from before? So in our rotation right now, it looks like we have Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Clark Schmidt, talked about Stroman, and we have Will Warren as our 5th. So now it's like our starting rotation is not looking very like good in terms of health, because if one goes down, we're gonna get a random AAA top starter, but we don't have nothing on him, So I feel like it's gonna be tough. But we did add Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, Devin Williams in the bullpen as a closer, and another bullpen, Fernando Cruz. So we did lose Soto, now Cole, Gil for 2 months, Stanton for we don't know, and DJ for we don't know. So in terms of offense, it is a little bit of a balance of getting Cody Bellinger Gold Glover. So in terms of like, overall offense, I'm not really worried, but I just have to be optimistic here. If the pieces work, if Stroman and Warren kind of step up, I still think the Yankees are the best team in the American League, but I don't know what you guys think, about who the best team in the American League is.
I mean, you already know how I feel. I think, with what you guys had, I think I was like, okay, coming into the season, I was a little bit nervous about the Evil Empire. You guys talked about the no beard policy getting reversed. Okay, so maybe there's some nice little karmic juju coming in for the Evil Empire. But like I thought, you guys get hit with the injury bug or some type of situation, because you know why? The Red Sox are finally putting some money where their mouth is and able to actually sustain a roster that could compete with the Avengers over up in Los Angeles, because the Dodgers is coming crazy. I think at the end of the day, it's the Red Sox season to lose. If the Red Sox can stay healthy, with the Bregman, Devers, we got Story, we got Juan, we got Hamilton. Listen, and with a couple of the pitchers that we got, I feel like we all right. I ain't too worried. Mikey, how we feel? How we feel?
I mean, they're definitely better odds now. I still feel like Baltimore had a great season last year, though. So, like, I wouldn't look past like the AL East, like for sure. Red Sox have definitely moved up in like the odds. That's without a doubt. I mean, it felt like a long shot if the team stayed the same, and now with like injuries to the Yankees and Red Sox bolstering the lineup, particularly the bullpen going crazy. A lot of good, nasty left-handed pitchers added to the bullpen, and Garrett Crochet added to the starting rotation, as well as Walker Buehler. I feel like they've definitely improved, but I don't know if they've closed the gap. I don't even know if we've closed the gap even with the Yankees injuries because their roster was already that good. So we got to see. Like I don't want to make I'm going to say that the Yankees still deserve the respect as like the reigning pennant holders, but I wouldn't put it past the Red Sox or Baltimore to win the AL East. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see
Yeah,
actually.
definitely for Baltimore. Like it's crazy. They won 91 games last season. They just kind of like cried over it. It's like, bro, like some teams are like can't win 90, and you're like just looking at it as a failure right now, and just like, bro, your team is just growing. It's just starting. They did lose
Exactly.
Santander to the Blue Jays. Because the Jays are also trying to please Vladimir Guerrero Jr. right now, because there's articles saying like they're like what 3.5 million off a year in the contract of the extension. So I'm like, wow, this is, and he wants no deferrals. Vladdy, he wants no deferrals in his contract, so they're trying to please him. So AL East is getting tougher and tougher. But I just want to mention the Red Sox for a little bit. Their offseason was kind of crazy. Y'all signed a lot of players, a lot of key players, and I feel like if healthy, your 1 through 5 is kind of deadly. You have Duran, Bregman, Devers, Casas, Story. Like Story to bat fifth, he's like, if healthy, he can go 3-4. You know what I mean? So if healthy, this team is also an offensive output here with the addition to the rotation of Crochet, especially. Like I feel like that ace right there, that presence is gonna add so much, and Fenway Park could get rocking, because definitely you guys are building, and I feel like this season's a pretty good season to kind of like prove to everybody, like I want that Yankee Red Sox back. You know what I mean? I don't want no Yankee Oriole. I'd rather have a Yankee Red Sox kind of both going against that first place. In the AL East. So I think that'll be pretty good.
Should be interesting.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. It should be exciting. It's gonna, the MLB's coming up. We're getting ready. Very excited for that. Season's about to start. Hopefully, Mikey, you be up. You know what I mean, on your way brushing your teeth, on your way to work, being able to watch the Tokyo games. But we'll see what happens. But we definitely looking forward to the season for sure. One season that is in full force that we are so excited about, to be honest with you, and there's been some huge games in the last few days, the NBA. When I tell you, I think if you listen to our last episode, we were talking a little bit about how we felt about what the NBA landscape was going to be for the last kind of quarter of the season. And I think this week really, or these last 10 days, have really cemented, okay, what might actually be happening in the NBA. First, I got to talk about this big game because, you already know what it is. You know how I feel about my Los Angeles Lakers. You know I'm a Lakers fan. Even though I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts with my boy Mikey, that does not mean that I don't bleed purple and gold. However, the Celtics beat the Lakers 111-101 March 8th. LeBron had 34 minutes, 22 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. Luka had 37 minutes, 34, 8 and 3. Tatum had 45, 40, 12 and 8. And Jaylen Brown had 42, 31, 6 and 2. Guys, this was a huge game. There's a lot to talk about. You know what I mean? With the boys, JB and JT going up for over 70 points I think is unheard of. I think, you know what I mean? Like, I think these guys are going to be a two-headed monster in the playoffs. However, one guy that we really need to talk about in this game, LeBron James. LeBron James left early with a groin injury, and he is sidelined for the next probably 1 to 2 weeks, possibly 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Now moving forward, and Mikey, you watch this game. How are we feeling about where the Celtics are at and what the Lakers are doing now with this injury?
Well, I mean, I'm on the same boat. Like, I feel like the last few episodes, like, I know y'all riding for them Lakers, but I feel like I've been the one to be like a little bit like, I'm not sure if I'm buying in. Like, I feel like they were clicking and playing at like their highest potential for the last like 15 game stretch, right? Right now, the Celtics are playing without Porzingis, who's our best big man, right? So we're like down our starting center, who is sick with an unknown illness, which is interesting. Not playing right now against the Thunder either. But you did say like LeBron left early, but it's like it's not like he played 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He was there like the whole game, like basically, and he missed the last 2 minutes of the game.
Mhm.
And again, Luka couldn't do it against the Celtics. Like, I would like to get into this game to talk about it. One, the Celtics are like have a knack for getting a 20-point lead and then like letting their lead go. This hasn't been an issue for what, 3 years now? We could be up 15, up 20 in the third, going into the fourth. We always let the other team back in the game. It pisses me off, man. Like they have a knack for giving up. They don't know how to tend the lead. So
Mm.
that's one big issue of the game. Two, I really wanted to know like what y'all thought about Luka's performance. Like, did you guys watch the game? I watched beginning to end. I had UFC on the TV, but I had to watch my Celtics play because I was like, I paid like close. I needed to watch that.
Mm.
What
I
did
was
y'all think about Luka's performance?
YBK. What you think?
I mean, I thought this game, Tatum and Brown ain't gonna play, and I thought I was expecting like Derek White and the crew. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh okay, like going. I see Tatum and Brown on the floor. I thought it's gonna be, it's gonna be tough. I didn't watch this game, but I don't know Luka's shooting efficiency in this game. But I mean, he's slowly, he's cooking it up in terms of box score, in terms of stat line. But tough loss, and also losing to King in 1 or 2 weeks. But I also see this injury as a pretty good chance for the Lakers for LeBron to rest and for Luka to kind of take control for a little bit.
Hmm.
So yeah, I didn't watch the game, so yeah, that's what I think.
I watched a lot of this,
Yeah.
Mikey, and two things that I felt like was apparent, right? I felt like LeBron was one of the best players on the court. I felt like I could see, and I was like, oh wow, like I could see him getting rebounds, I could see him doing assists, like I could see the impact of his game. Luca looked abysmal. I'm gonna be honest. He
Mm.
didn't. He did not look to me as though he was ready for the moment, especially with JT and JB. I know a lot of people come at JT and say, "Oh, he does. He's not elite. Oh, he doesn't have this killer instinct. Oh, he's the frailest superstar that we have." I think I saw JT put Luca in a blender on a couple plays, and I was like, "Yo." Like you guys actually feel some type of way about Luca, and I think seeing him kind of being relied on in this game single-handedly, because LeBron was kind of trying to say, hey, like, go do your thing, like go handle a couple of these, and him not being able to deliver. I think that's what kind of really scared me. I know YBK, you talked about,
Mm.
this might be a great thing for the Lakers. Mikey, I am a little concerned about how Luka's going to be able to hold on with the supporting cast. It's not LeBron on the Cavs. You feel me? He is not
No,
LeBron. He is not
no,
LeBron on the Cavs. It's very
yeah.
different.
I mean, he gets buckets. Don't get me wrong. Like, he still dropped 30, 34, right? But he was abused on defense. Like, JB did him dirty like a few times, just like they
Mhm.
did in the playoffs. That boy got his pocket picked like 5 times. And one of them, in like the one in the first quarter, JB D's him up, slides, picks the ball loose, sends it out to Horford for like a nice little transition dunk, and Horford put like is hanging from the rim, Sam, and Luca comes running back, takes like a knee and some nuts to the face, dude.
Oh
It
my
was like it was
gosh.
such classic like Luca getting not getting the best of the Celtics. I will say this, Tatum had a 40 piece, 40, 12, and 8. Tatum didn't really have a great game. That's like what was hilarious. Like he didn't really have like an efficient shooting game.
Mm.
It just was like it's light for him. Like people don't want Tatum to be the best player, one of the best players in the league, you know what I mean? So, but I will say this, in the second half when the Celtics took the big lead and then when we let the lead whittle down, it was Horford who was kind of like clutch because Celtics was just playing smart ball. Like Celtics kept running picks and running screens so that Horford would get in the paint with like Reeves or Dalton connect on him, and then he would just abuse him. Like
Yep.
Al
Baby.
Horford is playing amazing right now while Porzingis has
Porzingis.
been injured. So I gotta give huge props, like, because he's getting older too, like 38, turning 39. He can't play 35, 40 minutes a night, but when we need him, us and in the playoffs, he's coming in clutch. So I felt like it was a good win.
Damn.
And I'm interested to see how the Lakers is going to rebound because they lost their next game after that too to the Nets, and now their next game is versus the Bucks, who are also kind of skidding, who we'll get to. So it'll be interesting, like which of those teams skid is going to continue.
Damn, I feel like for the Lakers, like now since Bron's gonna be out, Austin Reeves gotta freaking step up. Like you gotta be that second Robin now. You, like, of course, like you weren't included with the Brown Luca. You can't, But now you have an opportunity to be the duo with Luca for these 2 weeks,
It's true. That's true.
or even Dalton. Like put him in too, because he's gonna be getting a lot of minutes now since Bron's out too.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, we'll definitely see what happens. I think it's just, Luka's definitely need to step up. He's still kind of getting fresh. He's still getting his legs under him. Again,
Definitely.
he was injured for most of the season, and he is at a new team. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, you listen, guys. This is the talk of the town in the NBA right now. This is where it kind of all boils down to. It's the MVP. And I think if you've listened to the show numerous times over the last, I think 3 or 4 episodes, especially our NBA segments, we've been hitting the MVP like nobody's business. You know how I feel. My boy SGA, nobody, you know what I'm saying? He's that guy, Mr. 50 Burger. And I think he really got to prove a little bit of who he is and what he could do. Because my boy SGA went toe-to-toe with the Joker. And I don't know. YBK, you want to talk about this game? You want to talk a little bit about what SGA was able to do?
I mean, yeah, it's true. They had a back-to-back Sunday, Monday at Paycom Center. That's crazy. Like the NBA schedule, how they set it up is nuts. How do you set up a March? This is like after midseason now. 20 games left, back-to-back, 2 MVPs together. That's nice. Like NBA genius. But I love how they took game 1. They're like, I bet. But that 40 piece was good. It was good. I mean, like, damn. All right, Shea, like, let's get it. I mean, Jokic still balled out. But I mean, Jokic was like 24, 13, 9, almost triple-double. But Michael Porter Jr., this guy been balling in the second half, though. Not going to lie. After the All-Star break, MPJ has been balling. But yeah, I feel like it's a great duel, and then it's everyone's favorite kind of thing. 2 MVPs clashing against each other. They're supporting cast too, and Jalen Williams with a 26-9-8 triple-double almost too. But damn, 48-5, pretty good for Shea. Mikey, how'd you feel about this one in Game 1, that Denver one?
Yeah, it's like a tale of like playoff vibe basketball right here. Like Game 1, Thunder put in their work. They went up big early, and Denver couldn't fight back. You know what I mean? MPJ was hitting some shots in the first half, I'm not going to lie, but the whole team, like Jamal Murray couldn't buy a bucket. Like, he'd be kind of hot and cold. Like, he could not buy a bucket that first game. Because I remember looking at one point, like, what is he, like 5 for 17 or something like that? Like, I was like, damn, Murray having a bad game.
Damn,
so,
that's tough.
Jokic tried. I just felt like some games you're just clicking and you're at home, and your best player has a good game, your other all-star has a good game, and yeah, it is what it is. I felt like it was so fun that they went back to back though, because it was big playoff vibes. Like if that was the playoff series and the Nuggets started, you play 2 games on the road to start, the Nuggets would be in the advantageous position
Definitely.
right now. Though.
Coming back home 1-1.
Road games in a playoff series, that means the road team took care of business.
Yeah.
Because in Game 2, Jokic showed out what he kind of. I feel like the first game was SGA saying I'm the MVP, and the second game was Jokic saying like, I don't know, son. I don't know, son. Because
I want to mention one thing though, because about the performances, like when you see Shea in March 9th, the last game he played was March 5th. He had like 4 days off. But for Jokic, he played in the 7th. And that game went overtime against the Suns.
Yes.
So I feel like it kind of like, and then he rested that game one. He's like, bet, it's my turn now. So I think kind of like that schedule too. It comes to a factor.
With Joker resting in that on that March 9th game and still having 24, 13, and
Crazy.
9, like you're still walking almost a walking triple double after you've played like a hard couple games, you know what I mean? And I think like to me like when we look at the second game, like this March 10th game with the Nuggets taking the game 140 to 127, I kind of start seeing something that's kind of really interesting to me. Thunder scored 127 the first day. Cool, bet. Thunder scored 127 the second day. Lost. So it's like, oh, we kind of know these fools gonna put up about 127, maybe 130. But if I can make sure that they don't go anywhere over that, we might be able to catch a dub. So I'm a little worried about the defense for Denver. That might be something in terms of the playoffs. Those numbers are gonna go down. Instead of 130s, it's definitely gonna be the 110s. But I mean, how do we feel about Jamal Murray kind of just hit this hot and cold situation, Mikey? Like, you couldn't buy a bucket on the 9th. On the 10th, you scored 34 points. Do you think it's just, how him getting acclimated to playing Oklahoma City? Do you think it's just him in general? Is it him this season?
To be honest, I don't think it's gonna matter. Like that second game was Jokic like showing his greatness because the Denver Nuggets this year are 12-1 on back-to-backs.
Oh,
And that's like
wow.
a stamp on the Jokic resume for MVP. Like that's insane. Like Sam said it. He went in overtime and went 30-20-20. Then he went 24-13-9 and then he went 35-18-8. Like I'm sorry, bro, but like
Crazy.
I just don't know what to say. Like I don't know what to say. That's the MVP. Not like it ain't close, because I ain't one of those people like it's a runaway Jokic again. I do feel like SGA with these 40 pieces winning against like the number 2 seed in your conference and you're 10 games ahead, right? But in my opinion, I'm more impressed with like the Cavs than I am with the Thunder. I'm not looking at the Thunder like I know the Thunder was going to be good. They were the first seed last year. So it's like what's the huge leap that's been made? It's more of a team effort and SGA is just playing well again. So his defense is nice though, because some people will try to separate SGA's nice on defense, but Jokic is a good paint protector too. He's just not a shot blocker like Wemby, but he ain't like a slouch on defense, and he's also up there for steals too. He knows how to he's a great passer, and the same IQ applies to like deflections and passing lanes. So I think it's interesting. But to answer the question about Murray, I'm not that worried because Murray's a playoff player like Jimmy Butler. You feel me? It's like Jimmy Butler in the regular season. So let's see what happens when the playoff comes around, right? I'd love to see this matchup again in the playoffs. It ain't gonna happen unless both of them win a couple series. So,
Yep.
but I ain't really worried.
That's true. That's true. I mean, listen, we talked a lot of NBA. Is there anything else that we need to hit before we transfer over? We got
There was one game that I would say was worth like a quick mention, which was that Bucks and Pacers game because it was a close game.
What happened with that? I didn't see what happened. What happened with it?
It was a close game. Pacers barely escaped, but it was a crazy ending. Pacers won. It was the final score was 115 to 114.
Yep.
Okay.
And y'all gotta watch. If you haven't watched it, just go look up like ending Pacers Bucks game. Because Bucks looked like they were about to steal that. Like Pacers was up by a few. Bucks made a few nice plays, few nice defensive possessions. Andrew Nemhard missing some threes, and Bucks took the lead. They was winning, bro. 114 to 111 with like 5 seconds left, and they ran this inbounds play. If you watch the Celtics playoff last year, Pacers tried to run this play against the Celtics in the playoffs. It's like they be having like 4 dudes in the backcourt, and they like run like almost like a football route, bro. And Hallie came running full speed behind the screens, bro. Caught an inbounds pass, put up a three, crazy three, and Giannis fouled him. So he had a 4-point play to win the game.
So
And
he's
I
at
just,
the goal line just about to for the cash money.
yeah, you gotta watch
Oh, I
it.
gotta
Off
watch that.
balance running like full
I gotta
speed.
watch that.
It's crazy. But I felt like it was a big game because in this we're talking about standings in our NBA deep dive recently, and now the Bucks and Pacers are tied, 36 wins, 28
Oh
losses.
snap!
So, and that makes it three
That's
losses in a row
crazy.
for the Bucks. So it's like I know we was talking about like the Bucks are kind of like getting like
Coming
a
up.
little bit of a run going together, clicking, and I'm like I felt like I'm not so sure, I'm not sold on the Bucks. Like I don't know if it's
Mm,
Doc Rivers, I don't know if it's Dame and Giannis, like not like being like the perfect pairing. The you know what I mean? Portis is out, like Kuzma ain't like really going
you're right.
crazy. Like I don't know what it is, but Pacers just are kind of like a good basketball team offensively. They're just not a great defensive team. So
Mikey, Detroit can come up then, because they're not that far. They're 37-29. They're technically they're a lower winning percentage, but they can come up to fourth seed. That's nuts. Cade Cunningham, big props to that guy. Oh my goodness.
Like that.
they really could come.
Yo,
They
it's
really could come
crazy.
up.
That 4, 5, 6 position in anyone's game. So that's gonna be a race.
Mm.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I'm excited. I'm
Wow.
excited.
NBA's coming to the playoffs
And
soon.
it's coming, baby.
I know what you want to talk about now though.
Woo!
Yes,
I know
Dad. You know what I came here for, and you know what I love. It is the NFL news free agency, baby. Oh, and I need my mans. You already know what it is. You know what I mean? I know I got GM Sam, but I also got my man, Mikey. Mikey's one of the player personnel. Mikey he be going, he be sitting as a scout, he be talking about some things. He knows a good player. He be watching people's routes in college. Mikey's one of my boys when it comes to the player personnel. So, Mikey, when it comes to the free agency, I know YBK about the money. I know big time money bags over there. But Michael John, I heard there's some rumblings in our conference with one of our favorite teams and one of your favorite players. So if you want to just start this off, let the people know.
Yeah, a lot of moves in the NFL right now. A lot of moves. You know what they say. You know what we say here. Put the money on the flow.
Everybody
Put the
else.
money on the flow, baby. So the Bills put the money on the flow. They've been actually going crazy this offseason so far. Like we'll get into some of the other names, but first we got to start with the reigning MVP, Mr. Josh Allen. How y'all feel about 250 million guaranteed, 6 years, $330 million contract?
Give it to him.
How you feel? How you feel?
Give it to him.
Give it to him, baby. He
Give it
deserves
to him.
more.
Oh, wow.
Oh
You
my
guys,
goodness.
you think so, huh? You like
Listen,
that?
I love it. I think it's one of it's. Listen, you could tell the excitement in my voice. I think this was one of the smartest contracts I've seen in a long time. We've had a lot of issues with the Dax. We've had a lot of issues with the Deshaun's. Josh Allen, okay, well, what has he done in the last calendar month? One, he's won an MVP. Two, he's got engaged to Haley. Three, he's gotten a $330 million contract. Listen, this man keeps his nose out the media. He plays his behind off. And even though I am a New England Patriots fan, I do appreciate Superman. And listen, you know what I mean? One of my homeboys loves him too, so I gotta love him. I think this was a great contract, not only for him for what he deserved, but also in terms of for the salary cap. YBK, you crunch the numbers. How do you feel about this contract?
I feel like, the more and more we get deeper in the years of NFL, the higher the money gets up, right? When Jalen Hurts signed his crazy contract in 2023, it was a 5-year, $255 million contract. So, and I feel like of what you just said, David, is perfect right there. Josh Allen I feel like he deserves every single penny. It's the highest guaranteed. So right now we just have to watch out for injuries now, right? He is coming off. He's going to be 29 into the 2025 season. But, the quarterback, we've seen a lot of kind of higher age quarterbacks still succeed in the NFL. So with the talent that Josh Allen has, guys, I feel like this man is going to soar as a Buffalo Bill, and he's going to hopefully bring some Bill success. But I'm very excited for the team. This is great.
My question is this.
Yeah.
Like, you pay him a bag, but he can't beat Mahomes. Like, you think they willing to take the risk? Like, you never beat Mahomes. I mean,
That's why you got to keep on signing around him. You got to keep on getting the defense or, get more guns,
2 years, if he doesn't go to a Super Bowl in the next 2-3 years, then like, would you look at the contract as
restructure?
No. I think here's the thing: if he did like a 7-year, 600, like that type of joint, like remember when Mahomes did his 10, 500?
Yep.
Like if it felt like the way that Mahomes felt when Mahomes sent his, I feel like okay, like you need to go to a Super Bowl, you need to do this. But 6 years, 330. I feel like that's like, I think he even said, "Listen, man, I don't like need to take Dak's money. I could keep $5 million in cap space off the books and let my peoples use that for another thing." Josh Allen don't get in trouble. He don't have no issues. I've never had him not a traffic ticket. And I think this is where it's like you gotta reward dudes who like legit live by the NFL code type joint. You feel me? Like the boy ain't the, you know what I'm saying? Not a nothing. Nothing.
I was talking about this contract with the homies over on the Parlay With Us podcast actually a few days ago. We was talking about Josh Allen specifically, and I was saying like when he accepted that MVP contract and he was like, shout out to Slick Rick, and he moved the city, like that's the equipment manager for the team.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a big moment. I felt like it's exemplary of what y'all are saying. Like, he's a good dude, so he deserves it. And he'd be like going to the children's hospitals and meeting with the kids. So I get it. Like, if you're a good dude, you should get it. Not to mention, like, look at some of the money. Like, you know, I said, like, if Trevor Lawrence is getting 5 years, $275 million, like, in fairness, I do feel like it's just what the market dictates. It's
exactly.
Like,
he's going to get bigger and bigger.
He deserves more. I'd pay him double that.
I mean, Mahomes is getting paid more, right?
Super Bowl appearance this year or what for Allen?
I mean, let's go Eagles one more time. Eagles. Never mind. Maybe
appearance though, Sam. Super
Bowl
appearance.
Right. You're right. Maybe. Can they beat the Chiefs?
2 more years.
2 more years.
Think so? But what if I don't know. Ravens is lurking. Bengals is lurking. Chiefs is lurking. So.
Bro,
big signing. How about can I highlight some of the other signings?
Oh yeah, let's get it.
They've kind of been active, right? We'll say this: they released Von Miller, but big news, they signed in to replace that Von Miller spot. They got Joey Bosa for a year, $12 million. Give me Joey Bosa. Big signing, right? That's a good replacement. Yeah, good replacement. Couple signings at the wide receiver position. They're keeping Khalil Shakir. He deserves the bag. We talked about that one briefly, I think. But I like that for him because he's very reliable. And, you know, it's like Brady with Wes Welker, like Edelman. Like, you need your old reliable. But they signed Josh Palmer from the Chargers. He left the Chargers. So, couple wide receivers coming in. And they got a couple other defensive pieces, too. Greg Rousseau is coming off the other edge. So now they got Rousseau and Joey Bosa as edge rushers. Like, they're going to keep putting pressure on the QBs. So I like it. DeMar Hamlin's coming back for a year, just like a little deal. But I feel like that's another city favorite. So those is kind of like the players I'd highlight that they signed that was pretty nice. So I feel like that's one of the big pieces of the offseason, though, if not one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge. Absolutely huge. I mean, like, for real, when it comes to Josh, like, he is just one of those dudes. And I think, you know, I mean, he's been up for Walter Payton Man of the Year award numerous times. You know, I just feel like he's just a solid dude, and I'm really excited about that. Another quarterback that in this division that got a bag, in my opinion, got a bag. I was very confused. YBK, I need you to talk to me. Justin Fields signs with the Jets.
Wow.
2 years, $40 million.
Wow.
$20 million a year. Boy played like 6 games last year. Did have a winning record. YBK, how we feel? $40 million for Justin Fields?
I feel like this is exactly what we're talking about the market. It's just going to get bigger and bigger, even the lower tier ones, even the lower tiers. But, I mean, well, this is going to be his 5th year playing. He played in Pittsburgh. I think, I'm looking at it, he played 10 games. You know, winning record. But while he was in the Bears, he was looking good, like putting up good numbers, you know? So I feel like the Jets are here. It's like, all right, we're going to the youth. Like, you know, we're sick and tired of Aaron Rodgers, this train, and we're getting rid of that. We released him today. We're going to sign this youngin', and 20 mil. 20 mil each year. Let's get it. Let's get it. And I feel like this is pretty good for the Jets. And I feel like as he's going to be the starting, he's not going to be sharing with Russell Wilson and the Steelers. So, excited for the Jets, but it's the Jets, guys. Come on.
What I'm saying.
Jets,
Yeah,
guys.
30 million guaranteed is not bad for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good signing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not many great quarterbacks on the market, right? Because a lot of the other dominoes have fallen as well preceding this. But this is his last like big chance, in my opinion. It's his last big chance. Does he have a great offense to work with? Not necessarily, but he didn't really have a great offense to work with in Chicago, and he kind of cooks a little bit. Like he's not a pure pocket passer. You just got to get him right. That's what he looked like to me. He looked like someone that if you could teach him how to like get the offense right, maybe like use your legs when you need it and not over rely on the legs, but just like go through your progressions, right? Learn how to run a system that might kind of take some of the pressure off him. And I feel like this is a perfect opportunity because the new head coach of the New York Jets is Aaron Glenn, who was the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions.
Oh.
Meaning,
Ooh.
preceding this year, he was coaching against Justin Fields every year, right? Because it's divisional rivalry. So obviously, you familiar with Rodgers, who came from the Packers. You're familiar with Fields, who came from the same division.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
If you're Aaron Glenn and that's like maybe that's why you're willing to let Rodgers go. You're looking at the talent and like the potential that Justin Fields presents. You've played against him. Maybe like wow, like when I was on the opposite side of the field, I realized like this kid has potential. So that's kind of my thought process for this one. I feel like it's not a bad choice for the Jets, and I kind of like Justin Fields, so I hope he plays well. I just hope he doesn't play well against the Pats.
That's a pretty good point about the defensive coordinator for the Lions is now the head coach for the Jets. So like now, you knew Justin Fields' weakness in a way. Like you're looking for that weakness as defensive coordinator. You're trying to look for the holes that he has. But now as a head coach, you can kind of reveal that to him. Maybe information that even he doesn't know. So that's a pretty cool point, Mikey. Wow, I didn't even know that. That's pretty nice. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's a very low risk, high reward situation for the Jets.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Very low risk. 20 million ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
In this market, nothing.
Yeah, 30 million guaranteed, but it is what it is. I feel like you can't give someone a 1-year project, right? Because it's like in the NFL they'd be doing these reclamation projects. That's like the phrasing they like to use, but it's like you can't give 1 year. You got to give them some time to build, right? It's like it don't happen overnight. So
No, not at all. Not at all.
huge signing though, big signing.
Yeah, that's cool.
For real, I mean, speaking of building, guys, I mean, our New England Patriots, have you seen the bag that they have thrown this offseason? Money, 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 baby.
I like it.
I'm like, oh my goodness, we had a lot of cap space. They said, you know, we're going to use some of this.
Cap space.
We're going to use some of these bricks right here because you already know what it is. I mean, guys, can I name just a few of the guys that are on this list? We retained Austin Hooper. He had a couple of good situations for us last year. Sorry, I'm a little fuzzy right now. Give me a second. You already know what it is. But retained Hooper. We had Milton that came. We got on a 4-year, 104 deal. We got Carlton Davis, 3 years, $60 million. You know what I mean? We're looking like we're spending a lot of money in terms of this defensive front. How do we feel about Mike Vrabel coming in, kind of putting his stamp on this defense? After I felt like last year we didn't have a terrible defense, but I don't know. Did we feel like we needed to spend all this money on the back end in terms of the defense? And where are my receivers? Where my receivers at? I need a receiver. Come on.
You got one coming. You got one coming, and I don't really want him, and I don't want to pay him as much as we're gonna have to, but I think you got one coming anyway. Yo, I love this, actually. I ain't gonna lie. Money, they used to say defense wins championships, and now we know how the offense go, right? But what won the championship this year?
Defense.
Right? It's like, it's seriously. So I feel like, listen, pay the big boys the money. And Vrabel knows some of these players. Spillane, the linebacker they signed, came from Tennessee. So he knows him. It's like you want people that are going to know how to play your system. Milton Williams is a beast as well. He's a beast.
Milton. He
Um,
got a bag.
I mean, listen, when you a winner, bro, you deserve a bag, bro. That's what we're talking about. Someone who's coming off winning, bro. Like that's a champion right there, reigning champion. So bring in the champions, bring in the winners, bring in the hard hitters. Let's get it. You're right. The wide receiver position needs to be bolstered. I was hoping that they would get Evan Ingram, but they re-signed Hooper for like $1. Basically, here's $1 if you want to play one more year.
Yep.
So I guess it's fine because he knows the system. But I really wanted like a better pass catcher out of the tight end position because I'm not in love with Hunter Henry.
He was in the top 10 this year in catches and yards. What are you saying? Hunter Henry.
Yeah, but like, if you watch, like, he be like having 1 or 2 games in the year where like the reason why he is up in these like statistical categories is because he has 2 games where he has 3 touchdowns in that game and 150 yards, and then the rest of the games we put an APB bulletin out because we say where the hell is he at?
I feel you, and I think a lot of that issue is that they ain't got no real wide receiver that can really do something. You feel me? Like that's the thing. Like I think, I made good money on Hunter Henry. At least 4 catches every game, boy, was a lot. You feel me? However, I think this is the thing. We got Matt Collins. Okay, cool. 2 years, 8.4. We got a veteran quarterback, Josh Dobbs. 2 years, $8 million. But I'm like, we throwing these dollars. We throwing dollar bills at this lady. Where the 20s at? Where the private dance at? Where the back room dance at? I'm trying to get in the back room. I'm trying to get one of them big Johns. I'm not trying. We spent one big money on Williams, but I want to spend money on a pretty lady on offense. Is it just me? Is it just me? I'm just sad.
Who do you want? Like, because like for me, I don't really want Diggs.
I don't want him either. I don't want him either.
Yeah, and I don't think they want Cooper, maybe
Nope.
Cooper.
We've already had Juju and we've already had Brandon Cooks, so we don't want them suckers either.
Yeah, you think this is who I think they're gonna probably throw like a bag at to try to get him is Cooper Kupp, but again, I don't love it. Like, I mean, you tell me, Sam, if you got to pick one wide receiver right now, if you had to pick between, I'm gonna just run through a couple of the free agents. Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen. Tell me who you'd pick because it's not great. I feel like these are old. They're all getting older now.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. Right, I'm gonna have to get Cooper Kupp. Try to get a discount compared to those 4. Try to get a discount, low price.
Listen,
Like 1 year contract, 2 year contract, not even 2, maybe a 1 year. Just
I know we love our white boys in New England, but I think it ain't Miami coming to New England. It's a lot of miles from LA coming to New England. I'm just
I hear that. That's a good point.
It's a rough thing. We're gonna have to move on because I'm gonna get depressed. It's NFL time. I need to feel good about myself. Listen, you already know what it is. We're gonna jump a little bit to the AFC North.
Oh, let's go.
Listen, guys,
Let's go.
We got something big. We got my man, Mr. Muscles. Okay, DK Metcalf, my man, shirtless DK. Okay, he was playing for the Seattle Seahawks. He got traded. Okay, got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know what they did? They put that money on the floor. They gave that man a bag. 5 years, $150 million. Guys, I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh because they went from 1 number 1 to, I think, 2 number 1s with no quarterback. What's happening? What is going on? This was a blockbuster move. The man said, I want to go to a contender. I want to go somewhere warm, and I want to go somewhere with a quarterback. He didn't get none of those joints at all. Ridiculous.
DK,
You like this, Sam, or what?
I mean, this is good. This is very good. But who's going to throw to you?
Thank you.
Who the hell going to throw to you?
Mikey,
What are you getting ready for?
No, No, we talked about this. This is what I'm gonna say. Give Russ the contract, bro. Like they're talking about that you're not getting Darnold, right? Because
No,
we'll get to him in a
Yep.
little bit. You're not getting Fields is not coming back.
He
He
gone.
walked. You didn't want him. Aaron Rodgers is looking like the Giants might be the landing spot. Like who's gonna throw to
What,
him,
Big Ben?
right?
Who you going to sign? What the
Exactly, bro.
Big Ben coming off the
Exactly.
couch.
Did you see that video?
So-
He was wearing that helmet. He was like DK Metcalf, and what was the other guy, the other wide receiver,
George
and then
Pickens,
and then
bro.
and then
This
Fearmouth.
helps Pickens actually. This helps both of them because, in my opinion, they both actually need like to be watched downfield. Whereas JSN from Seattle, who took away a lot of the receptions from DK because he's more like the medium range, or like short range and intermediate route runner, right? So he became the number one wide receiver last year with Geno. I don't know. I like the contract, and I think it's a good idea. Like you said, like it's not warm. Like it's a contender at least, David. And you know what makes him warm? Probably 30 million a year. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll be hot. I'll be hot as fish grease. I'll tell you that right now.
Yup.
I'll
Of
take the
course.
Hot
bag,
as
so.
fish grease, and I'm
Coast.
I would give Russ the contract. I think Russ could
Yeah.
put up numbers. He's played with DK before. He knows they've got like rapport because of their playing time. And I think George Pickens being there on the opposite side of the field, you got Jalen Warren and Najee coming out the backfield, and then you got Pat
You talking about Najee Harris?
Oh,
Yeah.
Najee didn't Najee
I'm
he go
I'm not talking about your boy Najee. I know you like.
Najee he's
I'm
gone.
not talking about your boy. He's a bolt now, pimping. He's a bolt now.
No way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They let the
Wow.
man go. They let him walk.
Yep.
Interesting. They're gonna need some help back there. Sheesh.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
crazy.
Yeah,
They
they definitely do.
They
They
got
get people
Kenneth
help.
Gainwell, who just came off an injury with the Eagles. Or you know what I mean? He's Super Bowl champion, but he's signed for
But
1
he's a back. He was our backup running back. He ain't like
saying.
a
That's
difference
like a gadget.
maker.
He's
Yeah.
a gadget running back. You know what I mean?
That's-
Like quick out the backfield, maybe could run, like catch a little flare out the backfield type.
They got
Interesting.
That's
So
what I'm saying. That's what
I'm giving the money. If it's me, I'm giving the money to Russ for
Put it
that,
on. Yes, I like one. I
for
like
that
that.
for QB.
A good
for
point
sure,
on that
though.
DK Metcalf. They played together before in Seattle. That's like why I feel like if I was GM on the Steelers, like this puzzle kind of puts together.
I don't have to go have Russ go a whole new year of learning a system. He knows the system
he already played here last year.
knows the check down,
Exactly.
and now he got DK when he needs to do the 1-on-1s. It's all Gucci. I mean, we
Yeah.
Oh
my
I mean,
gosh.
we got a couple teams that we could talk about. I mean, Baltimore did something. They got Hopkins, but he's 1 year, $6 million ain't nothing. We know T. Higgins got the franchise
tag.
tag. Mike Gesicki, 3 years, $25 million. I think that's pretty good. I thought,
Good
you know
piece.
what I mean. Gesicki was a pretty good pass catcher for that. But you know what I mean. There's one team in this division that we need to talk about as well.
Yes.
Because I don't know what it is about this division and just giving out money. Because this guy said, listen, you know, I've done service here. I've worked really hard. I felt like, you know, what I've been able to accomplish in this city has been amazing. I need to go. I need to leave. I'm done. Leave. Get out. I'm done with you. However, they said, how about we hand you about $160 million? About 100 that guaranteed, and tell me how you feel. Myles Garrett changed his tune. Boy, I tell you, I mean, I gotta make sure. I'm not sure because that brother said he was leaving, but in less than I think 3 days, something like that, he ain't leaving anytime soon. YBK, how we feel about this? How we feel?
Mr. Myles Garrett. What is he? The highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, defensive end. You're right. Cleveland Browns been throwing money. Keeping this man. This man became 40 AAV, guys. You're talking about Aaron Judge, captain of the Yankees, salary AAV right here. $40 million a year for the defense. And I feel like this is good for the Browns, but it's like, all right, then what about, like, I know that's one player, but what about your offense right now? Like, what are you gonna cook up here? Like, what are you looking for right now? Like, yeah, you got him. They did sign a little more defensive pieces in their team, but it's like, okay, but now what? Like, what is? I don't think the team kind of changed their like resolution at the end of the year with this. You know, this is the same Miles Garrett you're gonna get what he always did.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mikey, how do you feel about this?
It's a good for Miles Garrett, but this is just showing how bad the Browns are that they had to cough up 40 million a year to keep him. That's how bad they are. And what other choice do they have? I mean, he's their best player by leaps and bounds right
True.
now.
True.
Who's going to throw the ball this year? Kenny Pickett? Is Kenny Pickett going to throw the ball for them this
Oh,
year?
they
Are
signed.
gonna
They
I mean,
Looking
traded
like
for
it.
him. Yeah.
It's looking like it.
Main
So,
quarterback. Yep.
Kenny
I
the
mean,
Jet.
they gave that the worst trade in NFL history, hands down. Worst trade in NFL history is giving away all those first rounds for Deshaun Watson, and they can't they can't like help their team through the draft, and
Nope.
you have to pay Miles Garrett because he's that good and you need him, but your team is trash. So it's like it's a lose-lose situation if you're looking at from Browns standpoint, and for Miles Garrett, it's like, hey, he got the bag. He's the highest paid non-quarterback of all time.
Yep.
All
So,
time.
Yep.
congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats to Miles Garrett. He deserves it. Perennial defensive player of the year candidate. 15 sack a year type guy or high or more, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I love it for him, but I mean, Browns is sorry. Patriots are bad, but the Browns are sorry. Like we won for many, many years, you know, 6 of them things over 20 years. So
And we're at least watchable. That's the thing. That's the thing that I feel like too. It's like we're not putting money on somebody stupid. We're just to fill the seats. I think like the Browns is just like I'm just like bro, like this is just unwatchable at the end of the day. Like, it's just not where I want to be at. But hey, you know what? The man got a bag, and it just is what it is. You know, you do what you got to do. Is there, I mean, there's so many teams that we could talk about. I mean, what I mean. Where
let me ask y'all because we could jump to AFC South right now, and I'll say like Tennessee has made a lot of signings, nothing huge. The offensive linemen are getting bags this year though. Dan Moore got 82 million for 4 years, and I like that. Pay the offensive linemen. There's one big though signing from this division like that, or a couple, but let me start with Houston. I want to ask what you think about the trade for Christian Kirk.
Oh yeah.
How do y'all feel about that? It's a little divisional, so you don't really be seeing the divisional swaps a lot, right? No. I kind of like this. I like Kirk going to a quarterback like CJ.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. No, I think the thing what I love about I loved Kirk in general. I loved him when he played for Arizona. I felt like when he went to Jacksonville, the system just with everything that was happening, you had Ingram, you had him, you had Thomas Jr. this past year, and he did battle a lot of injuries, so it was tough. You know what I mean? He didn't have the kind of breakaway season that we thought he was going to get when he did come to Jacksonville. However, I think with a legit quarterback, okay, because you know what I mean, I you know. Jacksonville kind of got a quarterback, but no, with a legit quarterback with C.J. Stroud, I think Kirk is up for a big year. I think it's going to be a great year. I'm happy that Stephon left because I think that just kind of put a little bit more shackles on CJ. And I think having Kirk, who doesn't really care too much about his numbers and just wants to play downfield and win games, I think is going to put a lot of pressure take a lot of pressure off of CJ Stroud. YBK, what do you think?
I like it. This is great. I mean, you know, no Stephon Diggs now, and then you're bringing Christian Kirk to the solid wide receiver to the mix. What's his name? Tank Dell's, I think he's gonna be out for a little bit, right?
Off injury, bad knee injury.
Yeah, the knee. Nico Collins, is he injured still, or is he coming back for regular season?
Nico's good.
So yeah, that's they're with of course Joe Mixon. I feel like team's looking pretty good. They just added an offensive piece to kind of replace Stephon, who was injured last year. So this is good for the team. I feel like this is pretty exciting for the Texans. Great signing, great trade. I mean, didn't they also trade C.J. Gardner-Johnson?
I think they traded for him, right?
Yeah, they got C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles.
That's right.
Yeah, so the Texans added that piece into their puzzle there too.
Yeah,
Okay,
your
fair.
Eagles is going to look a bit different this year.
See, I don't know how he's doing, guys, right now. I don't know what he's trying to do, but I
Can't
mean,
retain everyone, bro.
yeah, exactly. You can't keep
retain everyone.
everybody. They're gonna be too expensive.
Yeah, you had to pay Saquon for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I have one more big name that I have a prediction for.
Ooh.
Indianapolis. I think we're gonna see Daniel Jones starting some games this
Let's
year.
go.
Oh, not
go.
Richardson. Oh,
Let's
I
go.
like Anthony Richardson, but like he is unreliable. We've seen it. Like they turned to Joe Flacco. I honestly feel like the Indianapolis Colts taking Daniel Jones on a 1 year, 14 milli, like that's decent for a backup contract for one. And Anthony Richardson just needs to prove himself. Like if he comes in like he did his rookie year, which is like really pushing the ball downfield, but with explosive plays, not like Josh Allen first year when he used to just throw that thing down the field hoping for something. That's what it felt like for Anthony Richardson last year. Like you need to get Anthony Richardson going with the runs, the design runs, and he needs to be like a smart pocket passer. I just have a feeling that we're going to see Daniel Jones starting some games this year. I don't know.
I seeing. Listen, when I'm gonna preface this to YBK.
Yeah.
When have you ever seen a quarterback get taken out of a game because he's tired? In the history of your life, I have never heard of that ever. Okay, so I knew once that happened that one time, writing's on the wall. It's over. It's over. This man is not. He ain't built for tough. You feel me? That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
I feel like I agree with you, Mikey. Daniel Jones going to the Colts will definitely help because, like, I mean, they have Pittman, and I feel like he's a great potential. Like, he can do better than what he is projected to be and what he was 2 years ago. So I feel like I mean, Daniel Jones. I know that he kind of, that meme where he trips and falls. When I think of him, like I just think of that meme when he was a Giant. But let's go, Daniel. Like Anthony's staying in that team. He's not leaving. So they gonna have to fight for that spot. But I really root for Pittman because I was a fan of his YouTube channel when he did the vlogs. So yeah, I really want to root for Michael Pittman. So let's get it. Who's gonna be that starting quarterback? Let's get it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh man, I tell you, for real, I'm excited for that for sure. I mean, we got the AFC West. Got a couple things that happened. Listen, I don't know what's going on with these edge rushers. Is it just me, or is like these guys just known for finally getting a bag? Because I haven't seen guys getting a bag like this in a minute. Max Crosby was the highest defensive player or non-QB.
Non-QB, yep.
Non-QB, 3 years, 106 million before Myles Garrett. I mean, how do we feel about this? We got a trade for Geno Smith. We re-signed Max Crosby. We got another edge rush for for 12 million. Do we think Vegas is trying to see there's some chink in the armor in the Kansas City Chiefs? What we doing?
I'm like not that impressed. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't think it's a bad choice to take Geno. I think it says a lot about Russ in a way that the fact that they didn't want Russ, even though Pete is now the head coach. Like the fact that he took Geno is a little bit crazy. And we talked about Max Crosby last episode. I think he deserves the money because he's a big name. Like maybe still the best player on this team. Actually, maybe the best player. So I'm glad that they're getting their money because when you're that good, the most QB pressures, right? Compared to even like the Myles Garretts of them all over, you know what I mean? Like the Joey Bosa's, the Nick Bosa's, like you deserve to get a bag. So I'm happy. I would still say that the Raiders are going to finish last place.
100%.
That's what I think. Last place finish in the division.
I totally agree. I mean, look at their offense. There's nobody good except tight end Brock Bowers. Like he's but we'll see his next season. Like it's usually the next season after you do well. It's like you're not gonna. It's tough to succeed. But yeah, like who do you have in your offense here that Geno's gonna throw to?
Shout out to my boy Jacoby Myers.
Oh, that's true. That's true. New England Patriots.
Shout out to my boy Jacoby Myers. He ain't like that. He ain't like a breakout star like that. But
he ain't trash. But like he can't like he's not like that game changer like the wide receivers we know as like superstars. So like
Yeah.
I agree with you, Mikey. I don't see Raiders going anywhere. Good for Max Crosby, but
No.
that highest paid non QB article went down in like 2 days after
10
that
seconds.
because it was
10
so
seconds.
quick, or was it that day? I forget. Like
I think it was like the next day. It might have been maybe
right away that record's gone. Like that Miles Garrett now.
There's a couple of big names I want to talk about just in the division. We don't got to go through the crazy teams. Najee Harris signed
Oh
with
yeah,
the
Chargers.
That was really cool. I'm really
That's crazy.
Yeah.
for $5 million. Think
Yep.
about that. Gave him away for a $5 bill.
Some change.
Ridiculous.
Not bad.
Khalil Mack got retained for 1 year,
Yep.
$18 million. That was surprising to me
money.
because I'm
Wow.
like, you picked Mack over Bosa. Cool.
True.
And then your boy Evan Ingram, he signed a 2-year, $23 million deal with Denver, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? I love Evan. You know what I mean? I picked him up on fantasy. He didn't do me great this past year, but it is what it is.
I like that.
I like that
Yeah,
too.
I thought that might be exciting just because
I wanted the Pats to get Ingram. I want a nice I wanted Ingram. I would prefer Ingram, bro, if he's healthy. Like I would prefer him as a pass catcher. He's more a dynamic.
What
pass
about Dallas Goedert? I think we're trading for him right now.
catcher. No.
Now I want that.
No.
Keep got it.
Not coming off the year he had.
I see.
I don't think so. I don't think he had a great year. The only reason I say that too for Ingram is just because I feel like the potential is really there to be a really dynamic pass catcher, athletic pass catcher. Because Hooper is for my Pats, but I feel like Henry's the pass catcher, right? And Hooper can be like sometimes pass catch and tight end block. Like I don't know. I mean we got our tight ends now, unfortunately. Sorry to Dallas Goedert. See you later.
It's all right. You know how it goes. Yeah, I mean, I love Evan Ingram. He's great. I think like I said, the AFC South, AFC West is one of the toughest divisions in the game, and I think they're all trying to reload and kind of trying to see if Kansas City has a little chink in their armor. I know we're winding down a little bit. I know, we still got a couple more names that I want to talk about. Real quick, Chris Godwin signed a 3-year, $66 million deal to stay with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
That's cool.
It is reported that the New England Patriots are going to try to sign him to a 3-year, $86 million contract that he said, no, I'm good. I'd rather stay in Tampa. Out of all of the biggest names, I think, in terms of the wide receiver free agency list, this was one that I was really excited about, and nothing. Is this a good thing for Godwin to kind of stay with Tampa and Baker? Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm just a little upset because I wanted him. Like, talk to me.
I feel like
it's home. It's home,
exactly,
bro. Right? Like it's home. That's the thing. I feel like when you somewhere so long, because that's what he said. He was like, we was really close to leaving, but I talked to my wife. Where can we raise our newborn son? And that's been your home for a hot minute. And they're willing to toss you the bag after a season-ending injury.
True.
So like it's hard to leave home. So that's it.
Exactly. I was just about to say, like, you're comfortable there. You want to chip there. You did everything there. So playing for that child too. I feel like even you'll take the discount for staying home in Tampa. So it's good for Godwin, and I feel like it's good for the Bucks too.
Hassan Reddick,
I was just about to say another one.
14 milli.
14
for the
milli,
Bucks.
bro.
That's a good rush to right there.
He's
so
fine.
keep an eye on that, right?
It's not bad. Not bad at all. Is there any of the big names that you guys want to talk about real quick?
In that division, like I would say J.C. Horn as a cornerback getting 4 years, 100 million is kind of crazy. That's a lot of money.
That's so much money
for a cornerback, but good on him to get that bag. And the Saints ain't really done nothing. They took Justin Reed from the Chiefs, but that's about it, really. Yeah, Chase Young got a bag, but I feel like a lot brewed up in the West.
Yes.
Come to the West right now, NFC West.
What happened?
First off, Sam, you get another Eagle.
Another one.
That you lost. Josh Sweat, 4 years, $76 million to the
Got a
Cardinals.
bag. Yep.
I'm a thumbs up that one.
Yep.
Thumbs
Good for
up.
him. I really hope the best for the Eagles that we're in the team. Thank you for your service, and hopefully you succeed in your future team.
You like that, David?
Yeah, I mean, I think 70. I mean, 76 million for Josh. I think is a steal. You know what I mean? To be honest, I'm a little upset that he left Philly because I felt like he was a vital piece. You know what I mean? And played big in the playoffs. But I think this is good for Arizona. They got the money, and they're known for, I think a couple years ago they signed Chandler Jones. You know what I mean, to that contract. So they're known for giving money to free agent edge rushers. So I think, Josh Sweat deserves the money. I'm cool with that.
How you feel about this one, the biggest one of the division, I'd probably say. What you feel, or maybe we can debate which one after we talk about the second one. What you think about your boy Puka now? What's his fantasy outlook now that he's got another big dog with him in that wide receiver room? Devontae Adams has entered the Rams locker room.
He ain't Cooper Kupp. That's what it is.
He better than Cooper Kupp. I tell you that right now.
Damn.
Devontae, number 14. Listen, okay, I love Puka. I think he's I think he's just one of those Swiss Army knives. He reminds me of a better Wes Welker, better Edelman, just a better route runner. You got a dog right next to you, and you got a brother right next to you. I think it's good. You got that Samoan sensation, and you got a dog right next to you. I think it's gonna be pimping. I think it's gonna give a little bit more swag to Matthew Stafford. And out of all of the, I think the free agents in terms of wide receivers that I was looking at, I think this was the smartest move. Like, I think Devontae going to a wide receiver that he knows is going to put up numbers. A quarterback that he knows is going to put up numbers. He knows is going to be able to deliver the ball accurately. He knows that no matter what, they're a pass-centric offense. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really, really, really excited. Cooper Kupp, it happens. Do what you got to do. It happens. So
True.
How do you feel, YBK? How do you feel?
I mean, Devontae ain't Cooper Kupp. That's all I want to say, and it's going to be a big plus to the wide receiver game for the Rams. And I feel like for the fans too, they're going to be looking for quite a show. I feel like Puka still. I feel like it's going to be like a Devontae AJ Brown kind of dynamic. No one's going to be like that wide receiver one, in my opinion. It's going to be kind of like both of them. I think so.
AJ Brown is wide receiver one in my mind. As when I watch the Eagles, I think of AJ Brown as the bona fide one, and then
Devontae too.
1A, yeah, like 1A.
1A. Okay. 1A.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that one.
Devontae being the one and Puka being the 1B. I'm cool with that.
You think Adams will be the one? I think that Puka will still be the one. I just think that the production might be a little bit less for Puka this year. That's
kind of more shared than that
think,
one.
Instead of 1,500 yards, right? We might see 13 or 12.
I see. Word.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I can totally see that.
All right, we got to talk about this one because we bet this was a big topic all year, right? For the Seattle Seahawks signing QB Sam Darnold for 3 years. 100 million.
I like it. I like it.
55 guaranteed. I think he could have pulled more money. I thought he was going to pull more money. I think we all kind of figured maybe, but don't you think this is completely fair? I feel like we're all happy with this deal. I like him landing here.
I think it's an even exchange. You feel me? We gave you a bag. It's enough. We gave you enough guaranteed money where you're rich, but we ain't in a hole if you're trash in a couple years. And you know what I mean? You get paid for what you did last year. It's not bad. It's not bad for me. We were literally talking YBK. You did say about 33 AV. You know what I mean?
Yep. 30 to 33 AAV.
That's what I'm saying. Yep. But listen,
on the money. We got it.
On the money.
Y'all got it.
Listen, y'all better bet on YBK when he be telling y'all about these players and they getting their money because he know the deal, baby. He know the deal. I think this is perfect.
I love it. I love it too.
I wonder how JSN's going to do this year. I'm not sure how his fantasy outlook will be because he was a big key to my fantasy team going to the playoffs last year. Actually, he was great. So I wonder how he's gonna fare.
They might feed him. He
ain't JJ though. He ain't Jettis. So
true.
Sam, you want to talk about your division?
I mean, let's get up to NFC East. I mean, our Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, we talked about Zach Bond re-signing that 3-year, $51 million, and Saquon being the highest pay 2-year, $41.2 million extension. But other than that, we gave away a lot of, like, as we discussed, a lot of defensive pieces here, and I feel like Howie's, I believe in Howie. Like, he's one of the GMs, unlike Cashman. Howie is one of the GMs I can really believe in and trust, and I feel like he's cooking something. And I feel like coming off a Super Bowl win, we're not gonna fucking. I mean, I'm sorry. We ain't gonna. We're coming back. Our goal is to come back to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? We ain't rebuilding or like we ain't redoing it. You know what I'm saying? So far nothing has been going on for the Eagles here, but the Cowboys made a lot of like peace moves here. Yeah, I feel like, oh, whoa, what happened over here? What
They
happened?
spending pennies, bro.
Yeah,
The
and
Cowboys.
I feel like they really didn't do much.
Here,
Yeah, exactly. Like a piece over here, a quarter over here, a dime over here. Like what? I don't know. 1.1 year, 1.42 million,
and a 1.1
and a 1.03 million. Like I don't know what's going on over there. So.
I might be able to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, they might be able to pay me $1 million to be on the field. $1 million. I just say I'll play in the practice squad for $1 million. You're chilling. Oh my gosh.
I agree, but yeah, and then they signed a couple more defensive pieces, but we know the Cowboys. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere in our division. But the Commanders, we did talk about that Deebo Samuel trade, and that kind of bolstered their wide receiver. But they retained Bobby Wagner on a 1-year with $9.5 million. Marcus Mariota, backup QB. They retained Ertz too for a year, 6.25. And I feel like he earned his kudos here with that NFC Conference Championship game against the Eagles. He balled that game. And then not really much, but the Giants did a little bit of moves here as well. And I feel like the NFC East looking pretty good with Giants retaining Darius Slayton, 3 years, $36 million. And they signed a couple of pieces here. Paulson, how do you even say his name? Adebo, 3 years, 54. Some pieces here and there. But yeah, NFC East, they're cooking up over here too.
I like the Commanders' moves. I like them getting Ertz and Wagner to re-up. I like that because both of them played really well for this team. Obviously, Debo coming in, but Laramie Tunsil, bro, missed the gas mask bong from draft night. I don't know if y'all remember that story, bro.
I remember that. He was about to be a #1 pick. They put that pick a couple seconds before the draft. I said, oh, it's dropping.
Yeah.
It's dropping.
His agent did him dirty, Sam. Laramie Tunsil. He was projected to be like a high first-round pick, and he fell a bit because they posted a video of him ripping a gas mask bong.
Oh, my
But anyways, he could rip that gas mask bong all over the field if he protects Jaden Daniels. I don't care, but he's nice. He's pretty nice.
He's very nice.
He kind of had a tougher year last year, but I like the thoughts that go into this Commanders team. I like Mariota as the backup. Same type of quality player. So I'm liking it. I like this team. I really do.
I think the Commanders are going all in. I think they're really trying to bolster in terms of and strengthen where they felt like they had holes in. And I think they're really trying to keep the nucleus that really got them to having those games last year, just continued. I don't think they're going to have the same success as they had last year because, again, a lot of these guys are a little bit older. But again, the Commanders are at least trying to do something.
They tasted that postseason playoff and they're like, I want that again, I want that again. I like that taste,
Yeah.
Yep. We
got one last division. Camden, run us through NFC North.
No, let's get it.
We got the NFC North, and we've had some slight situations happening. We're gonna start with the Minnesota Vikings. Brian Murphy agreed to a 3-year, $66 million deal. Aaron Jones staying back with us. 2 years, $20 million.
Oh, nice.
With that, and one guy that has been wreaking havoc, Jonathan Allen, 3 years, $60 million. This boy can play his behind off. I'm really excited about that. I feel like the Minnesota Vikings really decided we're going to bolster our defense a little bit more this year. We're going to keep our running back that kind of helped us out. And I think moving forward in the draft, I'm hoping that they're going to still stick with some offensive players around JJ. And we'll see what happens. But we got the Detroit Lions. They're doing some stuff that I felt like they needed to last year. Linebacker, defensive tackle, edge, another linebacker. Almost most of the positions where they were hurt last year, they kind of bolstered, and I'm really excited. Other than the running back with Sonic and Knuckles in that situation, but I think those two should be fine. Detroit likes hard-nosed defensive players. I think this is a great offseason for them. They didn't have to spend too much money, and they got guys that they needed. The Green Bay Packers. I don't know what they felt in terms of, Jordan Love running for his life, but Aaron Banks, 4 years, $77 million. They made sure that this boy was taken care of this coming up season.
Love it.
Really, really excited about it. And we also got Nate Hobbs, 4 years, $48 million. I think to kind of shore up that back end a little bit at cornerback, I think this was awesome. I really excited about that. I mean, we'll see what happens with Jordan Love, but after I think what we saw last season, Jordan Love really needs to be protected. Another rookie who I feel like they really trying to do some stuff with, and I need to talk to Mikey about this. The Chicago Bears, traded for 2, offensive linemen, and signed a plethora of dudes on both the offensive side and the defensive side. They signed a defensive tackle, an edge rush, 2 tight ends, and they signed a center for 3 years, $42 million.
Sheesh.
Do we think that after the Bears giving up the most sacks to a quarterback this past season, do we think the Bears said, listen, we need to really make sure that we're not giving Caleb
for sure.
For his money.
For sure, a couple of the trades that had gone through, this was like from a little bit earlier, because I think we talked about this last episode when we were saying like they are protecting Caleb Williams, and I love it. Paid a center as well, Dalman, 3 years, $42 million, love it. A common trope you will see when we talk about free agency, bro. I think the offensive linemen need to get paid. It's it's a non-glorified position in the NFL. I love it. That's why I'm saying like Tunsil, nice, like great. Like I love the fact when you go out and give your quarterback some time to throw. You know what I mean? All you need is like 4 seconds back there. If you give someone 4 seconds back there, that's long enough nowadays, because the way that these edge rushes getting paid, they not tackling a quarterback anymore. They running after a bag of money. They looking at a big gold bar, bro, just trying to make some money. So I love it. I still think that Chicago will have a tough year. They started off so good this year, remember? I think they'll have a tough year because I think Detroit's going to run it back and be a great team. Green Bay is going to run it back and be a great team. And Minnesota will be a competitive team again. So,
facts.
Yeah, we got to see what's good with the Bears, but
there's been a lot of moves. We've talked about a lot in terms of this NFL free agency, and I know we've kind of just finished off with the Bears, but I want to ask before we leave, who do you think had the best free agency so far? What team do you think really kind of took it over the edge? I can give you a second if you need a second. But yeah, what team do you feel like kind of took the cake this year? As of yet, we still got the draft. We still got a couple other things popping, but Mikey, what do we think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the easy answer for me personally, which is the New England Patriots. Because it's the team that I watch the most and I like the most. I'm gonna say bolstering the defense and being able to sign on a part of the ball that maybe isn't as flashy as some of these big contracts like we see the Godwins and the Devontae Adams and, the offensive players that are getting big bucks, DK Metcalf. No, it's not that, but I really think the Patriots have quietly been one of those teams that is winning free agency.
Robbie K, what are we thinking?
I think I'm going to talk about a team that we just talked about. In terms of free agency, I want to talk about, give props to the Chicago Bears. We just talked about Caleb Williams investing in that offensive line. Seconds count in that situation. So I feel like big props to them. And they revamped that offensive line and added some defensive pieces. So I think Chicago Bears, so far, they made the best move so far. What about you, David?
I love both of those picks for sure, for sure. I think the one team that I definitely have to go with is the Houston Texans. I feel like protecting CJ Stroud was huge. Getting a wide receiver was also big that I felt like was just not a diva and could kind of just help out with the system. And then CJ Johnson from the Eagles having a bona fide winner coming in on the defensive front. I think it'll be good. I think they might be able to not necessarily beat the Chiefs, but I think they're going to be a very competitive team in the next couple of years.
I will say this. Buffalo might be having the best free agency as well, with all of the like re-signing your quarterback, the additions at the edge rusher with Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau, getting your wide receivers back home. I think that because they were already a good team, look at a team like Kansas City and look at a team like Buffalo and look at the additions and look at the re-signings, right? I think that we might revisit this conversation, 9 months from now and be talking. We might have a different, we'll have to keep this in mind.
Different outlook. Yep, that's true.
Love it, y'all. I know you was excited for this episode, David. So
Listen,
I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed your free agency.
This past weekend was crazy. Like, my phone was popping and popping and popping. I'm like, damn, this offseason is going crazy.
This is one of the best weeks. I feel like if we're not able to watch football, I think this is one of the best weeks ever. I get to kind of see what teams are really actually trying to go all in, what teams are actually not doing anything, and what teams are trying to fake the public. So I'm really happy to be able to enjoy this wonderful NFL free agency with my MSD crew. For real, for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, you already know it. Free agent drops. Any free agent that drops, we talking about it. You know what I'm saying? MSD got y'all, so you don't have to worry. But yes, sir. Yes, sir. Episode 23, guys. That's crazy. We gonna wrap it up over here, and we gonna see you guys on the next one. My name is Sam, also known. You can find me at YBK up in here. We got Mikey over here. You can find him at Michael John DeStefano. And we got Camden over here. You can find it at Mr. Club Paradise. And you can find us at RCR MSD Sports. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, you name it. Any podcast we on, MSD Sports. And we'll see you guys on the next pod. Peace.
Peace.